Real estate investing is not easy. All right. I don't know if y'all saw, but it's not easy. Okay. This is not a get rich quick scheme. All right. So there are going to be investors out there and gurus out there that say like, oh, you can make 10 grand in 10 days or whatever, you know. But the truth of the matter is that most people, 99% don't do this. You have to learn how to lay the foundations of your business. That's why I do the 7 critical steps, which is tomorrow, right? And you can always go into the online courses and watch that. But you're setting up a business. All right. So it takes time, it takes effort. This is not a get rich quick scheme at all. All right. And so, what you want to do is like as you start getting into learning how to invest and learning all the different opportunities out there and trying to figure out like which one is the best for me, which is for my the best for my personality, then essentially once you figure that out, you're going to realize that no matter what you choose, if it's land or luxury vacation rentals, and you should only be choosing really one thing, right? My coach told me, my mentor 10 years ago, when I got into the business and I was running around like a crazy person trying to do everything, he said, Stacy, he said, I want to tell you how the wealthy get wealthy. He's like, do you want to know? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, if I tell you this, he said, are you going to actually utilize this? Because I'm going to tell you right now how the wealthy get wealthy. And I was like, yes, tell me. And he was like, you have to, he said, I'm going to tell you, the wealthy focus on one thing, they master it, and then they move to the next. Okay. The wealthy focus on one thing, they master it, and then they move to the next. Okay. So when he told me that, like a light bulb went off on my head, on it or in it. I don't know how that works, but essentially, like I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I was doing like a $200,000 rehab, and then like a $30,000 rehab, and I was doing like a $50,000 rehab. I was like all over the place, right? And so for me, essentially what that was in my real estate investing world, it wasn't just I want to rehab, because I knew I wanted to rehab for many years. And it wasn't I just want to rehab. It was what type of a rehab am I going to focus on? That's what it came down to. And I focused on like a $50,000 rehab, and I did those over and over and over again. Now some people do like rental rehabs, I mean like mid-grade, and then they do like bigger, or they do custom. Like it doesn't matter what type, right? So you just pick that one thing. And you want to be as specific as you possibly can. So if you're going to be doing, and that's why with the REI USA, you're going to see like very specific teacher topics, right? You know, like land is very specific, and then like luxury vacation homes, very specific. Like, because you could be like Airbnb, right? And that's like encompasses like everything, you know. But so I tell all the teachers when they come in, I'm like, be as specific as you possibly can. You know, don't just have something like, we have one new teacher that's starting, and she's doing interior design on a dime. Right. So she's going to focus on how to do rehabs on a budget, right? So like how to do like super cheap rehabs, but make the houses look really awesome, right? And so we're gonna be like very specific, right, on our topics. And that's what you need to do in life for your goals, is you pick that one thing and you focus on it, right? And you master it. And then because the thing is like in real estate investing, there is a lot of ways to make money. Believe me, there's a lot. And you don't want to have shiny object syndrome. You want to get in here and you want to educate yourself on all the different topics. You take a month to 2 months, really get in and be like, okay, I'm going to check all these out. I'm going to get to know all these teachers. I'm going to really kind of figure out what's going on. And then you're going to start picking that one thing and go into that teacher over and over and over again and really learning what to do. And I mean, especially right now, we're growing. REI USA is growing. I mean, we just launched this thing at the beginning of January. And so until we start getting super huge, I mean, you're going to have very small training sessions, just like this. So you want to take advantage of the teachers, you know, and ask them the questions and say, where I'm stuck, what do I do now, right? And all of them, they all want to help you. Okay. So focus on that one thing and get really good at it. So educate for a little while, and then focus on the one thing, right? And I'm going to tell you, on all of the strategies that you learn, every single strategy of all the strategies that we're going to be offering and all the different types of trainings that we're offering, there's one thing that you should be, every single type of strategy requires. Does anybody know what this is? Every strategy requires this one thing to run your business. And everybody should always focus on this. And really, I say automate and systematize it. But so if you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what I'm like all over the place, I'm just learning, I'm like overwhelmed, all this stuff. There's one thing that you should be doing, every single investor. If you are not doing this, you will never get a deal. What's that one thing? Does anybody have a guess? If you are not doing this, you will never get a deal. What's the one thing that you should be doing? All investors should be doing. I tell this to all my students all the time. All the time, right? And that's good. Who said making offers? Making offers. Oh, good, everybody, awesome. Okay. Well, making offers is the byproduct of this. Making offers is the byproduct. All right. So definitely you want to be making offers. But how can you make offers if you're not doing any marketing? Right? And gone are the days where you're going to find property on the MLS. Right? Unless you really truly understand how to use like PropStream or Privy. But even then, there's so many hands in the pot. There's so many hands in the pot on the MLS that you should be doing your own marketing. Everybody should be marketing for their deals, right? Until you get to the point where you're like me, where people just bring me deals, or like, Stacey, I know you got money, here's a deal, right? But until then, right? And it took me years to get to that spot. Until then, you need to be marketing to get your own deals. So my question to you is, if you're already past the point where I'm like already educated, I know where I want to be, and I'm to the point where I want to get started. My question to you is, what are you doing to market to find your deals? Okay. Because if you're not marketing, you ain't going to be able to make offers, and you ain't going to be able to analyze. All right. So the truth of the matter is like, if you want to start anything, you should be starting your marketing. Okay. And I went over marketing in the last week's 7 critical steps. That's one of them. So if you missed that, then I would go back and watch that. Okay. And I know also Mike talks about marketing in his wholesaling course as well too. Okay. Now, okay. So that's not even 3 essential strategies. Marketing is not an essential strategy. All right. For me, essentially, actually. So marketing is like one of the things that you should be focusing on.